my name is Nicole, and today we're going to be talking about the Dear Man skill, which is a DBT skill in the module of interpersonal effectiveness. Specifically, we're going to talk a little bit about how it can be used in a workplace setting. So we can use the scenario with a framework of someone interrupting you while you're in a team meeting. So if a coworker is interrupting you, what conversation you can have using Dear Man. The D first is describe. So you're going to describe the situation in a simple way. So you're trying to state only the facts of the description. At this point, you're not expressing your feelings, you're not asking for anything. You're setting up the conversation using just the facts. You're doing this because the person you're talking to might not understand or be aware of the situation. So you're trying to describe it factually, and you're making sure they understand the circumstance that you're referring to. So in our scenario, we'll talk about it has happened twice this week that you've interrupted me while I've been sharing my thoughts in a team meeting. You're just describing what's going on. The next step is express. Express how you're feeling using I statements. So an I statement would mean that you're taking accountability and preventing the other person from going into defense mode. Why are we doing this? Because we want to express how we're feeling about the situation that we just described. This will stop the other person from being defensive and help them understand where you're coming from. So in our example, you can say, I feel like you don't care what I have to say, which makes me feel like my input's not valuable. You're using an I statement there. The A in Dear Man stands for assert. So you're either asking for what you need or you're saying no firmly, depending on the scenario. In our scenario, you're asserting your needs by asking for what you want in a strong way. You're not beating around the bush, and you're not just alluding to what you want. This can clear up any confusion that could arise. Sometimes people don't really know what we're asking for, right? You're telling them how you're feeling, you're describing the situation, but they're not quite sure what you actually want. So in our scenario, we could say, I would like to be able to fully share my thoughts in the team meeting without you interrupting me. This way there's not a question about what you're actually asking for in the scenario. The R stands for reinforce. So you're making sure the other person knows why they should give your request. Why should they listen to what you're saying? Relationships are built on reciprocity. We usually do this naturally, right? If someone does us a favor, we're more likely to do them a favor in return. This is kind of the same thing. Reinforcing in the Dear Man skill reminds the person that there's something in it for them. It can even help build your relationship. So in our scenario, you can say, I feel like I have some great ideas that could benefit the team. It would be great if I could share them. I'd also probably be a little bit less short with other employees if I felt like I was being heard in our meetings. This shows them what's in it for them, as well as how they can help you. So the second part of the acronym, the MAN, so it's Dear Man. In the MAN piece, it tells you how you can go about these conversations. So the M stands for mindful. So ideally here, you're trying to not be distracted by the things that are going on around you, inside, or outside of you. So you're trying to stay focused on the conversation. If the person you're talking to acts defensive, try to keep the conversation on course. The A is appearing confident. Regardless how you actually feel on the inside, present yourself as though you are confident and you feel confident. You can do this by keeping your head up, standing straight, making eye contact, speaking loudly and clearly. The last piece is negotiate. Remember that you're not demanding anything, you're asking for something. If the person speaking isn't on board with your request, remember give to get. So you can negotiate a little bit to see what they thought would be helpful or what you could give them to help your request be met. The idea here is that you can problem solve and initiate change in your environment. That's what the Dear Man skill is about. So it can be helpful to practice this in front of a mirror, using a clinician or a friend before actually having the conversation so that you feel comfortable hitting all of these points. But if you're able to go through the DEAR in a way that feels effective with the MAN, then you'll be able to have these conversations that can feel really challenging and advocate for yourself in some challenging environments.